time, pass, end zone, caught. It's good. D. Anderson and the Showboats have won it in overtime. Going to hand this off up the middle for Marable. He's going to fumble. Ball's loose. And St. Louis picks it up. That will do it. The Battlehawks defense makes a play late. Game on the line. Looking to throw. Has time. End zone. Incomplete. It's incomplete. The Stallions hang on to win. For overtime, DeLeo to throw, pass, caught by Roland, needs some help, not gonna get it, he's stopped a yard short. Houston will pull off the upset. Looking to throw, has time, deep, right side, overthrown, picked off. It's intercepted by Keenan Isaac. He's gonna need it right there. They hand this off right side for Roland, they convert the 10-5. Chris Roland, I should shut up. Chris Roland touchdown. That's the dagger. Knicks toss left side and there's room. Has past the 30, past the 40, past the 20, 15, 10, 5. RJ Harvey. There we go. One play. Just need one play out of you. Gonna play action and look to throw. Mariota, sometime. Pass, intercepted. It's picked off. Yes, yes. One play was all they needed. Jack Jones. Williams, play action. Rolling left, looking to throw. Has time. Pass, end zone, intercepted. It's Keyshawn Nixon calling game. Darnold to throw. Has time. Pass, wide open. Over the middle. The Seattle Seahawks do it. Play action looking to throw. Williams has some time. Pass deep. Over the middle. Has a man. It's DJ Moore. Touchdown Chicago. They win in overtime. Snap good. Hold good. Kick up. And he missed it. Wide right. The Steelers will host Houston on Monday night. Williams in shotgun. Back to his right. 3 receiving options to the left. 4th and 4. Trip to Seattle on the line. Man in motion. Williams looking to throw. Pressure coming. Rolling left. Trying to buy some time. Back near the 40. Pass left side. Williams is caught. Touchdown Chicago. Cole Kmet. Somehow the magic remains. What? May looking to throw in 3rd and 6. Rolling left. Gonna take it himself. And that will do it. A first down carry. It's a gain of 7. And the Patriots have booked their ticket to Santa Clara. Zeros on the clock. The Seattle Seahawks, for the first time since 2014, are your NFC champion. Hello, everybody, and welcome on in. Week 9 of the UFL begins with the DC Defenders taking on the Orlando Storm. Just simply a week or so ago, this battle was potentially for the 1 seed in the UFL. Now with the injury to Jordan Ta'amu and the back-to-back losses for DC, it is a match that DC needs to win if they want to keep their playoff hopes alive another week, because some of the other teams that are right behind them and have tiebreakers over them, looking at the Louisville Kings, have some pretty easy opponents seemingly in the next week. It's been a chaos-filled playoff push for a lot of squads this year. We shall see how things wrap up. Spencer Sanders is seemingly getting the start for DC, though on the official depth chart it says it's either Sanders or Jason Bean, so we shall find out. But the key story is DC is without Jordan Ta'amu, and how is that going to impact the offense? Time will tell. Welcome on in. Kickoff is moments away. On this nice Friday night, and what should be a decent one. I expect this game to be somewhat close, all things considered. As close as it can be. I mean, Orlando's been playing solid the past few weeks. Hasn't been the greatest. Hasn't led to, a long win streak. They did lose. They're only 2-2 in the last month of play, just about. But we shall see how this one unfolds and how this one plays out. This is the first of a back-to-back these two teams will play to end the season. The one next week being in DC is most likely going to be for a playoff spot for the Defenders. So that's going to be a very interesting game, but it all starts here to build that potential rivalry between the two. Even though I don't see this being a rivalry that can be built. Orlando's one of those weird teams where it doesn't feel like they have a clear rival at this point. Whereas all the other teams, you have like a decent idea. DC, St. Louis is the big rivalry. Houston and Dallas to a degree. The league wants Louisville and Birmingham potentially, but I'm more so willing to lean Louisville and Columbus, or maybe even Orlando. Maybe that's who it is. Only reason I'm not saying Columbus definitively is because Columbus is waiting for Michigan to come back, as is Birmingham, honestly. But we'll see. I wouldn't be surprised if they go a bit of 2 QB system for this game, just to figure out who their guy is. They have a roughly a week of leeway, give or take, depending on what happens tomorrow and on Sunday. But it's feeling like a do or die situation. Guaranteed for DC to be in, they need to win out. That is the simplest terms of it. I'm pretty sure if they win and Louisville loses, they're in as well. But we'll see. We'll see how likely that is. We have kickoff underway here momentarily. And what should be a good one. Add one more commercial break before kick. Awaiting the opening kick. We've seen in weeks prior when a team is trying out a new quarterback, they can like to get the ball first, so that way they're not playing with a potential deficit. So I wouldn't be shocked if DC gets the ball first here. They're also wanting that defense to get a bit of momentum early on could help as well. Yep, add commercial break. And add commercial break. Kickoff is a few moments away. Got about 2 or so minutes if we think in the 8:07 time, as these games typically do. Yeah, we shall see. But welcome on in. There we go. Just exiting the commercial break. You're showing highlights from the past 2 weeks for DC, those tough losses. Last week's was especially tough. They had that chance on a 3-point conversion attempt, but Spencer Sanders barely missed Eric Ezukanma. And they've lost their last 2. It will be Orlando getting the ball first in this one in their final home game of the season, at least of the regular season, as it does seem like they're set up to begin in at least one more this year, but we shall see. In a decently filled out Internco Stadium in Orlando, Florida. Yes, Orlando has been consistent with their attendance, which you'll take. They have been consistent at the very least. Shannon Harris is saying the right things on that pregame interview on the sideline there. See if it translates onto the field. So Matt McCrane on to send this one down. And kickoff is underway, going to be returned beginning from the 1. Base out past the 20, past the 25, and going to be brought down right around the 25. The ball comes loose there, and I think Orlando has it nonetheless. Yeah, Orlando has it. They're going back to that I think the official color is dark navy uniforms here in Orlando. So it was 2 weeks with the orange alternates. And that's a clear fumble. Chris Rowland there to pick it up, though. So out comes Jack Plummer. And this Orlando offense for the first time tonight. Plummer in shotgun, back to his right. 3 receivers to the left. Ball on their own 23. Tight end in motion, left to right. Gonna hand this off up the middle for Jaysean Corbin. It's a gain of roughly 2. So that's how things start. Aaron. So 2nd and 8. Plummer in shotgun, back to his right. 2 receiving options to each side. Man in motion on that left side, left to right. Plummer going to play action and pass this one right side. Is going to be caught up to about the 32. It's Chris Rowland on the grab. Going to make it a 3rd and 1 coming up for the Storm. Yeah, Chris Rowland is going to be, and it has been, a difference maker this season for the Storm. Much the same way he was a difference maker last season for that championship winning DC roster. Him going against his former team for the first time. Curious how much of an impact he's really going to have. We saw in the NFL just this past season that when the Patriots played the Bills, they fed Stephon Diggs as much as they could. So 3rd and 1. Plummer in shotgun, play action looking to throw. Rolling right. Gonna loft this one and on a check down for Jaysean Corbin, who's gonna be able to pick up enough for the first. A gain of roughly 3. Orlando passes the early 3rd down test. They keep the drive alive. All right. So 1st and 10. Plummer and shotgun, back to each side. Ball on their own 35. Plummer going to look to throw once again. Has some time. Dump off left side. Going to be caught with some space for a gain of about 3. That was Elijah Dotson on the reception. So 2nd and 7 coming up. All right. So 2nd and 7. Plummer in shotgun, back to his left. 3 receiving options to the left as well. Gonna hand this off up the middle, and that's gonna be stuffed at the line for no gain, maybe even a loss of 1 there for Jaysean Corbin. A 3rd and decently long coming up with just about 12 minutes to play in the first quarter. Orlando's offense have not scored on their opening drive since week 1. Yeah, and yet they're still 6-2 and the top team in the league. It doesn't make sense, but here we are. And that opening drive of the season was also off of a kickoff return fumble by Columbus. So yeah, Plummer looking to throw in 3rd and 7. Has some time, dump off left side, there's space for Rowland. Enough for the 1st and more, past midfield, past the 40, split in defenders. The 25-20, gets a block inside the 10, the 5, and Chris Rowland gets the scoring started for Orlando. On the catch and run, he goes the distance. All right, cool. That's some uncharacteristic missed tackling there for DC. But it's Chris Rowland doing the work against his former team. DeAndre Baker was the guy man-on-man with him. You see Garyon Conley missed a tackle there as well at around the 30, 40-yard line of DC. Yeah, and then a nice block from Cam Camper as well down the field to make sure that Rowland can get in there. And now the extra point from Michael Lance. It is up. And it is right down the middle. All right. Not bad. That's how I get things started. Orlando's first opening drive points since the opener. Because why not? And we head to a commercial break. That's one way to get this game started. Not bad. Oh, UFL is debuting a docu-series that begins next week. That's cool. So at commercial break after the opening drive touchdown for Orlando, putting that pressure on DC's offense. That's exactly why we've seen at times this season a team with a new quarterback under center wanting to get the ball first. So that way they're not in a deficit the first time seeing the field. But that's not the case here for DC. But also, to be fair, Spencer Sanders did look pretty solid throughout the game last week against Louisville when he was playing at a deficit most of that game as well. And at commercial break. $11:24 to play in the first. We'll see this DC offense for the first time as we're just coming back from commercial break. De'Aaron Fox and Dylan Harper were cleared to play tonight for Game 3. Hell yeah. All right, Michael Lance on to send this one down. Kickoff is underway. DC going to return this beginning from about the 5. Space past the 20-25 and brought down right around the 28. And out comes Spencer Sanders. In for the injured Jordan Teamu, who was placed on IR after last week's game. He will be missing the rest of the season. And it will be Spencer Sanders leading this playoff push for DC. Last week was more so just him getting accustomed to the offense. It felt like as the game progressed, he got more comfortable with everything. So we'll see how this one goes. I do still expect some hiccups with this offense, but again, by the end of the game, I expect it to be clicking to a decent level. Sanders in shotgun back to his left. 3 receivers to the left as well. Going to hand this off right side for Deion Jackson. And there's a breakaway room. Past midfield. Past the 45 and out of bounds right around the 41 of Orlando. If you're going to be getting rushing lanes like that the entire game, you're not going to need Spencer Sanders to throw the ball once. if you're going to be getting that level of chunk carries consistently in this game, you're going to be just fine. The ball now on the Orlando 43. Sanders in shotgun, back to his left. Gonna try and hand this off right side. Now gonna keep it himself up the middle as pressure got there instantly. He's brought down behind the line near the 48. It is the combo of Chris Garrett and Keyshawn Banks into the backfield there for Orlando. It'll be a second and about 15 or so coming up. Yeah, that is 2 free rushers into the backfield. Yeah, no, that's not Chris Garrett. It's Darian Butler and Keyshawn Banks into the backfield. All right. So 2nd and 14. Sanders in shotgun, back behind him. Going to hand this off up the middle. And there's some space for Deion Jackson to get about 4 or so to get the yards back from that previous play. But it's still going to be a 3rd and long. So 3rd and 12. You only ruled out a gain of 2. Play clock winding down. Sanders alone in shotgun. 3 receivers to the left, 2 to the right. They're pretty much in field goal range now. Sanders looks to throw. Pass over the middle is a wide open Cornell Powell. And that'll be enough for the first. A gain of 13 to keep the drive alive. All right. So both teams taking advantage of... both teams using the underneath so far in this one. Powell was open underneath about 5 yards down the field. Chris Rowland scored on an underneath route. They have playmakers that can take those underneath stuff and turn it into massive gains. So I wouldn't be shocked if that's kind of their MO for a lot of this game, unless something opens up down the field. Sanders in shotgun, going to hand this off up the middle, and that's going to be Xavier Valade for a gain of 1. Especially DC, without having Tayamu, I'm not going to expect him to be pushing the ball down the field a lot in this game. Obviously, at some point, you're going to need to, but early on, I don't know. So Sanders in shotgun, back to his left, 3 receivers to the right. Gonna hand this off once again up the middle, and that's gonna be another gain of about 5 or so, maybe 6, actually, that second effort push there. It's Xavier Valade on the carry once again, gonna make it a 3rd and manageable here for DC. Just about 8 minutes to play in the first quarter. 3rd and 2, so 3rd and short. All right. Ball on the Orlando 35. Or on the Orlando 25. Sanders in shotgun, back to his right, 2 receivers to each side. Going to look to throw, pressure coming quick. Pass right side is dropped interception. That's a tough one. Nate Brooks had a pick 6 waiting for him as he jumped the route as the ball was going for Cornell Powell. That's one he needs to hang on to. That's a tough drop. So out comes Matt McCrane. DC will escape here with something. 43 yards out from the left hash. Kick is up, and it is right down the middle. So nearly a disastrous play. Leads to DC getting 3 on their opening drive. And we'll see how Orlando responds. Up by 4. And we head to commercial break. Not bad. Not bad. So at commercial break. Alright. Not a bad start. Alright. At commercial break. Both offenses moving pretty well to begin this, but we'll see how it continues. The first drive can always be deceptive. Especially with the defenses these teams are going against and how they typically play. Just coming back from commercial break, we await Matt McCrane to send this one down for DC. Chris Rowland back to return here for Orlando with 7:04 to play in the first. All right. KJ Hamler also back to return. Kickoff underway. Going to be returned beginning from the 7. Space out past the 20. And going to be brought down right around the 24. Maybe they give him the 25. Nonetheless, out comes Jack Plummer. I'm not going to say that stat because I know it's going to jinx it. Plummer in shotgun, back to his left. 3 receiving options to the right. Tight end in motion right to left. Going to hand this off up the middle. And that's going to be a gain of roughly 3 there for Elijah Dotson. 6:45 to play in the first. Clock continues to roll. And there's Anthony back along the sideline. He's been a damn good coach over the years in spring football. He did a hell of a job with St. Louis. Now he's doing a hell of a job with Orlando. But the question for him has always been the playoffs. So we shall see. Plummer and shotgun, a back to each side. Ball on their own 28. Play clock winding down. They get the snap off in time as Plummer's going to hand this off going right. There's some space past the 30 and brought down right around the 33. Going to be a 3rd and 2 coming up, as I believe that was KJ Hamler on the carry there for Orlando. So 3rd and 2. Plummer in shotgun back to his left. 3 receivers to the left as well. Man in motion left to right to make it duos to each side. As Plummer looks to throw, pass right side, going to be caught into a nice window of DC defenders. Going to be brought down right around the 45 as Chris Rowland on the grab once again. Finds that hole in the defense and Plummer puts it on the money. Yeah, that's too easy. That is too easy. So 1st and 10. Oh, and there's a DC player so slow to get up, so we're going to head to a commercial break for injury timeout here. With 5:21 to play in the first. I think at some point he could be. I think the other question is, does he want to be? Because again, In order for him to get the NFL head coaching opportunity, he's probably going to need to go somewhere as an OC first. And I don't think he would want to do that after being a head coach for now 4 seasons in spring football. So I think he's going to be one of those like coaches to last in the spring league, which is good. Again, they need people that are going to be sustained presences in the UFL. That way that they can build their fan bases that way. Every single year having massive roster turnover is just not good for the league. Now I could also see Beck be doing like consultant for a team during the fall, and then he picks back up with the UFL afterwards. But as like a proper coach, I don't see it. That's kind of been the one thing in the UFL so far is we have not seen a lot of coaches make the jump to the next NFL level, to the next level in terms of the NFL. We've seen colleges, but we have not seen NFL yet. Whereas players, they make the jump constantly. So as we're at commercial break. All right, just getting back from commercial break. Orlando so far the only team clinching a playoff spot. So depending on the outcomes of this week's games, I think we could see probably 1 or 2 more clinching. So 5:21 to play in the first. As we're also getting closer to the start of San Antonio, Minnesota. I'll put that on the background as well. Plummer in shotgun back to his right. 3 receivers to the left. 5:15 to play in the first and counting as the clock is continuously running. Ball on roughly their own 45.5-yard line. The movement up front, and there's going to be a penalty marker down. I should make it a false start here. Yeah, false start against Orlando. So 1st and 15 coming up. So 1st and 15. Plummer and shotgun back to his right. Play clock winding down. They're not getting that snap off in time. And Orlando will have to burn their first timeout. Tough time to burn it there. 4:35 to play in the first. Plummer wanted them to reset the play clock, but instead they had to burn a timeout. So 1st and 15. So 1st and 15. Plummer in shotgun. Back to his right. 3 receivers to the right as well after having to burn a timeout on 1st and 15. Man in motion right to left. Plummer, quick pass left side, going to be caught and brought down maybe for a gain of 1. But not much else as Chris Rowland on the grab. Garyon Conley on the tackle. And it'll be a 2nd and 14.5, 15 coming up. Yeah, it's going to keep a 2nd and 15. Four minutes to play in the first. Plummer in shotgun, looking to throw. Stepping up, pass over the middle is into double coverage and incomplete. Bryce Thompson, one of the two DC players there in coverage. It'll be a 3rd and 15 with just under 4 minutes to play in the first. And the clock will begin to run. Tip off between the Spurs and Thunder about to begin. So we have the game on in the background now as well. Plummer in shotgun, back to his left. 3 receivers to the right. They get the snap off in time as Plummer looks to throw. Stepping up, Lofter over the middle, going to be caught past midfield, and their forward progress will get him down at roughly the DC 47. Damn Wiglas on the reception. And now they have to go for it since they passed midfield. Spencer Sanders looking on as his 4th and 2 for Orlando. Now the same ball on the 46 of DC. Plummer in shotgun. Back to his right. 2 receivers to each side. Play clock winding down. And they get the snap off in time barely. DC sends pressure. Pass left side is incomplete. Looking for Chris Rowland is Bryce Thompson breaking it up. As a turnover on downs for Orlando. DC down by 4 has ball right around midfield. And we're going to head to a commercial break. But that's now twice in this game where we've seen a corner pretty much drop a pick 6. Yep, head into a commercial break. With 2:32 to play in the first. Good. At commercial break. At commercial break. All right. So they still haven't tipped off between the Thunder and Spurs, by the way. That should have started a few minutes ago. But game 3 going to be starting there soon. Still that commercial break here between Orlando and DC. Actually, we're just getting back from commercial break. So Spencer Sanders, a pretty decent first drive. See what he can do on the second in his first start of the season due to the injury to Jordan Ta'amu. Ball on their own 46. Sanders in shotgun, back to his right, 3 receivers to the left. And there's some movement up front. They're going to get a false start against DC. .232 to play in the first. All right, then San Antonio versus OKC has officially tipped, so that game has begun. Sanders in shotgun, back to his right, 3 receivers to the left. Gonna hand this off up the middle, and there's some space for a gain of about 4. And there is a stoppage with 2:19 to play in the first, as there is a DC player down. One of their old linemen. That is Yasser Durant, the right tackle. A pretty damn good player as well. It's a tough injury to have, especially for a team that wants to really be running the ball. No. The game just started, Wemby. Why are you doing step back threes? Come on, man. Durant's still slow to get up, gonna be helped up now. But we're gonna quickly head to a commercial break for an injury timeout. Alright. At commercial break. Yeah. Minute and a half into game 3, and the Spurs are already up by 7. Crazy. But at commercial break. Alright, the Spurs are starting off hot. Got it. I should be coming out of commercial break here soon. Alright, Yasir Durant being helped off the field. A tough blow to that DC offensive line. He's a damn good player. Sanders in shotgun, back to his left, 2 receivers to each side, 2nd and 11 from roughly their own 45-yard line. 2 minutes of play in the first. Play action looking to throw. Sanders with some time, pass deep over the middle. It's there inside the 15 and brought down at the 10. It's Kiki QT. And the DC defenders are inside the red zone for their first time tonight. A beautiful throw from Spencer Sanders. On the money. Okay. Hey, I had some doubts entering this game. That's a great throw. Handoff left side, gets inside the 5 and down to about the 12 or so for Deion. Not 12. Down to about the 2 or so for Deion Jackson. I was saying that I didn't really expect him to be pushing the ball down the field all that much. You know, wanted to get him comfortable. And then he just does that. Sure. 2nd and 2 coming up. Ball on the 3-yard line, roughly, of Orlando. Sanders in shotgun, back to his left. Gonna hand this off for Deion Jackson, left side. He finds a lane, and he walks it in. The defenders have the lead, capitalizing off the turnover on downs. Absolute beaut of a drive there for DC. Pretty much picked up exactly where they left off last week against Louisville in terms of moving the ball. 51 seconds to play in the first. That is a real solid drive. All right. So the extra point is up and DC leads by 3. That's a very impressive drive right off the turnover on downs. A 4-play touchdown drive. That is a fantastic drive to have. Yeah, it's a beaut of a throw. OKC still has not scored. What is this camera angle that NBC's rocking with? Oh, there's Wemby on the fast break. Okay. Yeah, no, it's okay, San Antonio. I see you. San Antonio is on a 15-0 run to start this game. Kickoff underway, going to be down in the end zone for a touchback. Orlando will begin from the 40. Looking to retake the lead after the turnover on downs. 51 seconds to play in the first. Wemby. San Antonio took that last game personally. All right, Plummer in shotgun, back to his left, now back to his right. Going to hand this off up the middle, and that's going to be a gain of about a yard or so. One more play needed before the end of the first. Second and 9 coming up. Plummer in shotgun, back to his left, 2 receivers to each side. Going to look to throw. With some time, pass over the middle is low, but caught just past midfield to the DC 47. Cam Camper on the grab. Would be 1st and 10 coming up. I imagine they would take a look at this. And that'll be the end of the first. 15 minutes in the books. DC has the lead, but it's been a pretty damn good game so far in this one. Meanwhile, San Antonio is up by 15 currently. All right. Add commercial break. Oh, also was announced earlier today. We know who's going to be doing the halftime show for the United Bowl. It's going to be 50 Cent, which I'm kind of shocked they got him for it, but I'm not going to complain either. As we're at commercial break. So at commercial break for the end of the first. All right, the Thunder is starting to mount something here. At commercial break, waiting for the start of the second. Still at commercial break. Should be getting out of it here soon. All right, just getting back from commercial break. There's a look at the playoff picture for the UFL. As it sits, Birmingham's in that final spot. It would be St. Louis and DC to begin the playoffs. That would be a fantastic game. There's a ball just past midfield on the DC 47. It's 1st and 10 for Orlando. Plummer in shotgun, back to his right. 3 receivers to the right as well. Man in motion, right to left. Plummer, quick pass right side. Can he be caught with some space? Gonna get past the 45 and down to about the 41-yard line there for Chris Rowland. So a second and relatively short coming up. Second and 4, they're saying. Play action looking to throw. Plummer with some time. Passing one deep right side. Has a man wide open inside the 5. And it's a walk-in touchdown for Elijah Badger. The Orlando Storm retake the lead on the 41-yard strike. All right. He gets behind the defense. It's too easy. It's too easy on the deep crossing route. He just gets behind the linebackers. And the safety already bid up. That's a great throw from Jack Plummer as well. With pressure right there. That's a beaut. So the extra point is up and right down the middle. Orlando back up by 4. So heading back to a commercial break. So at commercial break. Yeah. Game 3 between the Spurs and Thunder has still been going pretty good. OKC has brought it down to a 9-point lead for San Antonio. So a 15-0 start to the game for San Antonio is crazy. Still that commercial break here between Orlando and DC. All right, just coming back from commercial break. Let's see how DC responds. And yeah, I think with that Jordan Ta'amu injury, it sets up Jack Plummer pretty well to run away with the MVP. $14.5 to play in the first half. Hey, and there's Gruden. Again, Gruden talking ball is fun to listen to. And I think that's what he does best now. I don't think he needs to be coaching, even though that's been like the rumors the past few years. Kickoff going to be returned beginning from about the 5 up to the 20 before being brought down. DC will start from there. Yeah, Jack Plummer off to a great start in this one. So 1st and 10. Sanders and shotgun back to his left. 3 receivers to the left as well. Ball on their own 21. Shift in the back to his right. Sanders going to hand this off up the middle. And that'll be a gain of roughly 4. As is Abram Smith on the carry. So 2nd and 5. Sanders and shotgun back to his right. 3 receivers to the left. Gonna hand this off up the middle, and that's gonna be enough for the first. A gain of roughly 5 or 6 there for Abram Smith. Not bad. First and 10. Sanders and shotgun back behind him. Gonna hand this off up the middle, and there's a lane to get another gain of roughly 4 or 5. For Abram Smith, once again, been pretty consistent in this so far. So another 2nd and 5 coming up. Sanders and shotgun back to his left. Gonna hand this off once again right side. And it's Abram Smith, and this time he will lose about 5. Yeah, can only hand the ball off so many times in a row before Isaiah Buggs gets into the backfield. So 3rd and 9 coming up. Sanders and shotgun back to his left. 3 receivers to the left as well. Play clock winding down to get the snap off in time as Sanders looks to throw. Pressure coming, trying to roll right. Still looking, gonna pass this one, and it's incomplete. Through the hands of the intended target, and DC will have to punt. That Orlando defensive front stepping up on that drive. And especially Isaiah Buggs. He's getting some pretty quick rushes into the backfield there. So 4th and 9 coming up. All right, punt comes off clean. Going to be out of bounds around the 15-yard line. So I think this will be coming out to roughly the 25, if I remember the rule change properly. So 1st and 10. In shotgun, back to his right. 2 receiving options to each side. Man in motion left to right. Gonna hand this off going left. And that stood up at the line for no gain. Elijah Dotson on the carry. And it'll be a 2nd and 10 coming up. Is Casey Rogers on the tackle there? Plummer and shotgun back to his right. 3 receiving options to the right as well. Going to look to throw. Pass left side will be caught past the 30 and out of bounds around the 32 for Elijah Badger. 3rd and relatively short coming up. I still can't believe that the Spurs have Wemby as a primary ball handler sometimes, man. It's crazy. Wemby's been in the league for 3 years and he's still doing shit that blows my mind. Including whatever the fuck that was. Plummer and shotgun back to his right. 3 receiving options to the right as well. Man in motion right to left. Gonna look to throw in 3rd and 4. Pass left side's high and incomplete. Nearly picked off through the hands of Sam Kidd. It'll be 4th and 4 and Orlando will punt. Yeah, so the defense is now stepping up a bit. Was looking for Elijah Badger there. So 4th and 4. Punt comes off clean. Going to be returned beginning from bouncing and into the end zone for a touchback. We've only seen 1 block punt this season, and that was Orlando blocking a punt against St. Louis. With 9:17 to play in the first half, we're going to head to a commercial break. All right. At commercial break. Has not been a bad game. Been a pretty good one. As the first quarter is about to end between Spurs and oh god, Wemby. Like, it's just not there's no guarding that shot. And the fact that he can hit it pretty consistently as well is crazy. Nerd. Just coming back from commercial break. Spencer Sanders on the field. What can you do? John Gruden talking about the tuck rule game on the broadcast. Great. Saying that Brady fumbled that. That is one of the most influential plays I think the league has ever seen. Was the tuck rule. Handoff up the middle, and there's some space for Xavier Valade to get a gain of 9. So a 2nd and 1 coming up. In shotgun, back to his left, 3 receivers to the right, gonna hand this off up the middle, and that's blown up for a loss of roughly 4. It's Isaiah Buggs once again. He's everywhere in the second quarter. In shotgun, back to his right, looking to throw on 3rd and 4 is Spencer Sanders. Pressure comes quick. Rolling right, penalty marker down in the backfield. Sanders takes it himself along that right side. Past the 45 and brought down right around midfield at the 49. But this is probably coming back. As Isaiah Buggs, once again, quick shed into the backfield. It's going to be a face mask against DC as his helmet came off shortly after. Yeah, Isaiah Buggs is having an insane game in this one. The amount of impact he's having on this. So 3rd and 19 coming up. In shotgun, back to his right. 2 receivers to each side. Play action, looking to throw. Pressure comes quick. Rolling right, buying some time. Sanders still looking, will now take it himself. Past the 30 and brought down at about the 31, maybe the 32. It'll be a 3 and out for DC, and they'll punt this one away. Yeah. After the offense being on display pretty much for the entire first quarter, the second quarter has been the defenses. So 4th and 3. Play clock winding down to get the snap off in time. Punt barely comes off clean. Going forward to the right will be out of bounds at around the 30, maybe 29-yard line. 6:38 to play in the half. And out comes Jack Plummer. All right. So 1st and 10. Plummer under center, back behind him. Play action looking to throw, pressure coming, dump off right side. Going to be a gain of roughly 1. Not a ton of space there, but it's better than what would have been a loss of a few. Steven Stellanos on the reception. I had ruled it a gain of 2, so 2nd and 8 coming up. It's a pretty generous gain of 2. Plummer in shotgun, back to his right. 2 receiving options to each side. Play clock winding down, under 10 seconds. Man in motion right to left. Hand off up the middle, gonna have some space past the 45 and brought down right around the 46. It'll be a 3rd and relatively short coming up. .545 and counting to play in the second quarter. In shotgun, back to his right. 2 receivers to each side. Shift in the back now to his left. Plummer going to look to throw. Has some time. Pass deep, right side. He has a man. It's caught along the sideline. What a grab for Cam Campers. 1st and 10 Orlando. That's a beaut along the sideline. A nice throw as well. Somewhat back shoulder, and Cam Camper goes up and head tops that one. That's a beautiful catch. And yeah, great throw. Put it to where only his guy can get it. And did he fully get at least a foot in bounds? He might be out of bounds. Is that left elbow? Where does that go out? Where does that touch down at first? They're going to take a look at this one. And they're looking at that left elbow, making sure that it was in bounds. Yeah, the elbow hits first, and seemingly it is in bounds, which would be enough. Ruling on the field is confirmed. That's a great catch for Cam Camper over Sam Kidd. That's a beaut. It is so funny how the best shot of that elbow being down in bounds is the one that has John Gruden in the middle of the screen. As that play happened right behind them. So inside the 20, ball on the DC 18. Plummer in shotgun looking to throw. Pass right side going for the end zone is overthrown incomplete with a penalty marker down. This is Orlando's first trip into the red zone tonight. And defensive pass interference is the call there. All right, that's a... Was looking for Chris Rowland on that right side. Yeah, he holds him a bit, but I think that's just overthrown. So now because of that, it's ball on the 6-yard line of DC. First and goal. Looking to extend this lead. Plummer in shotgun back to his right. 3 receiving options to the left. Plummer, handoff up the middle. Again, keeping himself right side. Pass for the end zone's wide open and in. Penalty marker is down, though. It would be KJ Hamler. No, Elijah Badger on the touchdown grab. His second of the game, but it's probably coming back. Yep, it's ineligible man downfield. Oh, Thunder took their first lead of the game. Yeah, that's clear. That is clear. So first and goal. Plummer in shotgun back to his left. 2 receiving options to each side. Man in motion right to left. Gonna toss this one forward, and there's space inside the 10. Fight it inside the 5 and brought down at roughly the 4, maybe the 3. Chris Rowland on the reception. So second and goal coming up. Just about 4 minutes to play in the first half. Plummer in shotgun back to his right. 3 receiving options to the right as well. Handoff up the middle. Gonna find a lane to get about 2. Third and goal coming up. .340 to play in the first half. Three and a half now to play in the quarter. And with the play clock winding down, Orlando will call their second timeout as they were not going to get the snap off in time. It was DC calling a timeout. Okay. .321 to play in the half. .321 to play. All right, so Plummer in shotgun back to his left. 2 receivers to each side. Ball on the DC 2-yard line. Man in motion right to left. Plummer looking to throw. Pass, end zone, wide open. Touchdown Orlando. It's Cam Camper. And they extend this lead to 10, soon to be 11. Too easy. .317 to play in the half. It's just too easy for Orlando tonight so far. Yeah, Jordan Ta'amu getting hurt drastically changed this team's season. It's tough. And like with Louisville playing Dallas tomorrow, I mean, it's setting things up nicely for Louisville to have a chance at things. I would not count them out just yet. They've been playing some solid football. Extra point is up, and it is right down the middle. All right, head into a commercial break. We'll wait to see how DC responds. Jack Plummer, already 3 touchdowns on the night. Too easy for him. All right. At commercial break. So the Thunder started this game down by 15, and they have now tied things up. This is also after them having to lead a bit earlier, so the Spurs have done their thing, but Spurs Thunder can be a great series. Yep, wait in the final 3 or so minutes of the first half. At commercial break. Alright, just getting back from commercial break. Oh, and there's a doubleheader on Sunday. That's what it is. Hey, man. Okay, I was thinking of a... Okay. There's one game tomorrow at 3. Got it. That's actually good. Alright, kickoff underway. Going to be returned beginning from the 4. Base out past the 20, past the 25, and down to the 26. So 3:12 to play in the half. So first and 10. Sanders in shotgun, back to his right, 2 receiving options to each side, man in motion left to right. Gonna hand this off going left, and there's room for Deion Jackson to pick up about 12 or 13 and a first down for DC. If this ground game can find a consistent rhythm, there's still very much in this game, but they're gonna need something. In shotgun, back to his right, 3 receivers to the right as well. Play action looking to throw, pass right side is tipped and incomplete. Second and 10 coming up. Earn. So second and 10 coming up. In shotgun, back behind him. 3 receiving options to the right. Gonna hand this off up the middle, and that's met at the line for no gain. And that should bring us to the 2-minute warning here from Orlando. It's a 3rd and 10 for DC. And they're going to need something here soon if they're going to want to if they want to stay in this game. DC does get ball to begin the second half as well, so they have a bit of leeway there, but still. And into commercial break for the 2-minute warning. All right. Two minutes to play in the first half. At commercial break. At commercial break. All right, just getting back from commercial break. Orlando has about 100 more yards of offense in this game. Sanders alone in shotgun on 3rd and 9. 3 receivers to the left, 2 to the right, and we have a timeout being called. It is Orlando calling their second. Before this kind of big 3rd down play. All right, 3rd and 9. In shotgun, back to his right, 3 receivers to the left. Ball on their own 39. It's a 3rd and 9. Play clock winding down. And there's movement up front before the snap. Going to be a 3rd and 14 coming up now, as it's false start against DC. So 3rd and 14. Sanders in shotgun, back to his left. 3 receivers to the left as well. Going to look to throw. Sanders, pressure coming quick, and he is sacked. Back near their own 22-yard line. It is Fabian Lovett on the sack, and Orlando will call their final timeout as DC will have to punt, and they're going to look to extend this lead before halftime. All right. A minute 54 to play in the half. It's a 4th and 23 after the sack. Oh, DC's going to challenge this, saying that there should be a penalty against Orlando, specifically against Darian Butler for a face mask penalty. I mean, yeah, this helmet does get ripped off. The helmet does get forced off in some way. The question is, was it the hand, or was it just like the elbow? Is what Pierre is saying. Yeah, no, just I can't. I don't think I from what I see with that camera angle, I find it hard to believe that a forearm would make it come loose like that. Considering the hand, considering the arm, and how stretched it is. Do they not have a shot from the other end zone? All right, DC is going to lose this challenge. That's their one challenge for the game. They're going to burn a timeout. They can no longer challenge anything in this one. So a minute 54 to play. All right, so punt comes off clean. Going to be returned beginning from the 19. Space out past the 30. And going to be brought down right around the 33, maybe 34, depending on how generous they are. All right. So 1st and 10. Under center, back behind him, 3 receiving options to the right. Gonna play action and look to throw. Plummer with some time. Pass left side, gonna be caught for the first. Pass the 45 to about the 47. It is Elijah Badger on the reception. So 1st and 10. In shotgun, back to his left. Quick pass over the middle, gonna be incomplete. Trying the quick hitter for Chris Rowland. 2nd and 10 coming up. 1:12 to play in the half. So 2nd and 10. Play clock winding down. Plummer in shotgun back to his right. 3 receiving options to the right as well. They get the snap off in time, looking to throw and sacked. Back near the 36-yard line, it's Derek Roberson. And it'll be a 3rd and long coming up for Orlando. Yeah, Derek Roberson has been a very consistent piece for this DC defense. 3rd and 19 now. Plummer in shotgun, going to look to throw. Pass over the middle is caught, and the ball comes loose. DC has a clear recovery. They're now saying incomplete. He wasn't able to maintain possession for long enough. It seems like he caught it and took a few, and then like leaped forward a bit. Elijah Dotson, the intended target. Sam Kidd with the hit. And the replay center's not going to take another look at this. It's 4th and 19. Orlando will punt. It remains an 11-point lead, and this is most likely where it will sit during halftime, unless we have a big return here for DC. There is a penalty marker down. Punt comes off clean, going to be returned beginning from the 6. Space past the 15, and brought down at the 18. What is the penalty? It's illegal formation against Orlando. It'll be added to the end of the play. 24 seconds and 1 timeout. I mean, if you take a deep shot, in theory, you can get points out of this, but you need to get to roughly the 42. So 1st and 10. Sanders in shotgun, back to his right. 2 receiving options to each side. Play action, looking to throw. Pressure coming quick. Sanders rolling left. A dump off left side, caught with some space. Gonna get past the 30, past the 40, and out of bounds right around the 44. Deion Jackson on the reception. They're going to be roughly 10 or so yards away from field goal range here with 1 timeout. And Matt McCrane has a leg. He has made 2 from 60 this season. In practice, he has hit from 65. In shotgun, back to his left. 3 receivers to the right. They need roughly 15 yards. Sanders to throw. Pass over the middle is tipped and incomplete. 10 seconds remain. Darian Butler gets a hand on that one. They have time to do another shot for field goal range. So 2nd and 10. Sanders in shotgun, looking to throw, rolling right. Has some room, gonna take it himself, gets out of bounds with 4 seconds remaining, just past midfield at the 49. Unless they do something really quick. Most likely we only have one more play until halftime. Out comes Matt McCrane. This is going to be a long kick. He has a leg on him, but again, 65 seems to be his limit, just based off of practice kicks alone. And that's even kind of disingenuous. There's DC's final timeout. I feel like I would have rather see a QB sneak, if anything. But out comes Matt McCrane. It's gonna be a close to 70-yard kick. I mean, this is. I mean, I get why. This is the final play before halftime. You might as well. You know he has a good leg to him. This is a 66-yard kick almost. Like, this is Brandon Aubrey, Cam Little levels of territory here. 67 yards. The right hash kick is up. And it is no good. He missed it short. Was on line. Wait, was that short? I couldn't quite tell from the camera. Was that short or was that just to the left? I think no. I think he has the. I think he had the leg for that. Hold on. Can I get the replay from? Can I get the replay from the goalpost? Because if that missed left and not short, even with him missing that kick, it's gonna put eyes on him. Out of the way, it sends us to halftime. If that wasn't missed short, out of the way, we're at the half. And with us just getting to halftime, I'll quickly be right back. All right. I'm back. We're at the half. Yeah, I think even with that kick, even though it was missed, I think McCrane's gonna have some eyes on him for the NFL. It's gonna be about time for that to happen as well. So at halftime, Spurs Thunder is about a minute 12 away from halftime as well. And it's a 3-point Thunder lead. So at the first commercial break. At commercial break. All right. I think Caruso just missed all those free throws, which is crazy. Yeah, the Spurs started this game hot. They've cooled down since. All right, at the half. I think the first halftime segment is going to be the docu-series trailer. Yeah. Yeah, I like the direction the league is going in. Especially the amount of parity in the league as well. I'm curious at how good this docu-series is going to do. It's an ESPN2 thing, so I'm like, eh. Yep, at halftime. But yep, it's been a fun first season under Mike Rapoli's ownership. I'm gonna be very curious at what the offseason looks like and kind of what their mindset is for it. I do still stand that the best thing for the league entering this offseason and for next season is to keep everything the same. as much as they can. Same cities, same stadiums, same coaches. Maybe you have a few players shifting around, but you have to try and keep things consistent. That's been the issue with a ton of these markets. Is that they're constantly moving. This is Houston's third stadium in 3 years of the UFL. That's not going to cut it. Coaches have been constantly shifting around. Everything's been constantly shifting. You need to prove to these markets that these teams are here to stay as long as they can. And that will start bringing fan interest in. So instead of, everything that would go into, finding a new city, new branding and all that, and everything that would go into relocating or expansion for next year, which we know expansion is not happening. Put all that time into better local marketing and really go heavy in the local marketing and in marketing in general. Yep, add commercial break. Yep, at the half. Yep, one more commercial break, then we should get to the start of the second half. All right. At halftime. At halftime. At commercial break. All right, should be coming out of commercial break here soon, and the start of the second half underway here soon. Orlando leads by 11. DC gets ball to begin the second half, looking to mount a comeback and keep their hopes alive that much better. It's been a tough one. The broadcast mentioned it earlier. Is there going to be a quarterback change for DC in the second half? We'll see. All right. So just coming out of halftime, Michael Lance on to send this one down. The broadcast is taking a heavy look over on that DC sideline, trying to figure out who will be the starter for this half. I would expect Spencer Sanders to still get another go at things, but who knows? All right, so Orlando set to send this one down. DC back to return. And second half kick is underway. Going to be returned beginning from the 2. Spaced out past the 15, past the 20, past the 25, past the 30, and down to the 31's Xavier Valade on the return. It'll be 1st and 10 DC. All right. So it's still Spencer Sanders. In shotgun, back to his right. 3 receivers to the right as well. Going to hand this off up the middle. And that's going to be a gain of only about 2 or so. Not much else. So 2nd and 8 coming up. So 2nd and 8. In shotgun, back to his right. There's movement up front. Gonna whistle to play dead. And it's going to be a neutral zone infraction against Orlando. So a 2nd and 3 coming up. Not bad. So 2nd and 3, Sanders in shotgun, back to his right, 2 receivers to each side. Ball now on their own 38. Sanders going to keep it himself right side. Now a pass over to Eric Ezukama will be enough for the first. And going to get past the 45 out of bounds to about the 48 or so. I'm shocked that's not an illegal forward pass. I guess he's still at the line of scrimmage. It also might have been a backwards pass, technically. In shotgun, back to his left, 2 receivers to each side. Going to look to throw once again. Pass the right side, going to be caught, and that's a gain of about 9, maybe to give him the full 10. Is Mason Fairchild on the reception. And we'll see with the spot what they ruled this as. 2nd and 1. It was a gain of 9. Gonna hand this off up the middle on 2nd and 1, and that's gonna be met at the line and stood up. 3rd and 1 coming up. It's Abram Smith on the carry. So 3rd and 1. They're past midfield, so they're gonna have to go for it if they don't get it here. Sanders in shotgun, back to his right. 3 receiving options to the right as well. Man in motion, right to left to get the snap off in time, and now there's a stoppage. Saying that DC called a timeout before the snap. That's their first. Having to burn one this early is tough. It is tough. Oh, DC still clinches a spot with a win? Even with the chance of them finishing with the same record as Louisville? That doesn't sound right to me. I get that 6 is seemingly the number, but if... I guess it might be also due to tiebreakers with Birmingham, yeah. Because they beat Birmingham while Louisville lost to them. That might be it. In shotgun, back to his right. Going to hand this off up the middle. And that's going to be enough for the first, a gain of roughly 2. Xavier Valladay on the carry. So 1st and 10. Sanders in shotgun, back to his left. 2 receivers to each side. Man in motion, left to right. Play clock winding down. Get the snap off in time as Sanders looks to throw. Pass right side going to be all through the hands of Braylon Sanders. He's been out for the past few weeks, so I just completely flipped on his number. 2nd and 10 coming up. Yeah, it barely gets tipped there by the defender, but it's still one that Sanders should catch. So 2nd and 10, and there is a storm slow to get up afterwards. It's Deion Jennings who's slow to get up. He had the interception last week in the win over Dallas, which clinched them the playoff spot. $11:01 to play in the 3rd. All right, 2nd and 10. Clock begins to roll. Sanders in shotgun, back to his left. 3 receivers to the right. Play clock winding down to get the snap off in time as Sanders looks to throw. Pressure coming, rolling left, buying some time, gonna take it himself and sliding down at the 35 with a big hit there as well. Penalty marker is down. It's Nate Medders on the big hit there. We'll see what his penalty is. And this is seemingly coming back. Yeah, Holden against DC is the call. So it's going to be a 2nd and 19 coming up. Yeah, no, that's a clean hit. It's a big hit, but it's clean. All right, so a 2nd and long. It's a 2nd and 20, basically. Sanders looking to throw from shotgun. Pressure coming, gonna launch this one deep right side, and it's incomplete. Looking for Eric Ezukanma. Pass was into double coverage. A 3rd and 20 coming up. And since they have passed midfield, they're gonna have to go for it on this drive. So that is unless they get a few more yards out of this. Again, Matt McCrane has a great leg to him. If they get 5-6 yards, they can send out the field goal unit. So 3rd and 20, Sanders in shotgun, back to his left. And there will be a stoppage as the play clock was winding down. DC will call their 2nd timeout. This is their 2nd on the opening drive of the 2nd half. This is a bad situation to be in for DC. Having to burn 2 timeouts like that? That is tough. So a 3rd and 20. Sanders in shotgun, looking to throw. Pressure coming. Pass right sides for the hook and ladder. Gets past the 40 and brought down right around the 37 or so for Deion Jackson. Hey, that's field goal range. That is field goal range. So they can at least get points out of this and make it back to a 1-score game. But, yeah. All right, so a 56-yard kick from the right hash from Matt McCrane. It is up and it is right down the middle. A beaut. It's an 8-point lead for Orlando. All right. So at commercial break. It's a 10-point game between the Thunder and Spurs. Thunder have the 10-point lead. From how this game started, I was not expecting to end up like this, as there's a good steal for the Spurs. Yeah, but at commercial break, we await Orlando's first drive of the second half. But yep, at commercial break. At commercial break. Oh, there's some pushing and shoving going on between the Spurs and Thunder right now. These two teams are going to end up hating each other. But yep, just coming back from commercial break. And what started off with a good offensive game has turned into a defensive one after Orlando took that 11-point lead. DC, after some pretty rough football on the first drive of the half, cut it to a one-score game. So let's see how Orlando wants to respond now. Plumber ready to take the field. Matt McCrane on to send this one down. And kickoff is underway. Going to be returned beginning from the 4. Face out past the 15, past the 20. And going to work his way past the 25 and out of bounds right around the 30. Solid return there. 1st and 10 for Orlando coming up. So 1st and 10. 8:26 to play in the 3rd. Plummer in shotgun, back to his left. 3 receivers to the right. Going to look to throw. Pass over the middle is dropped at the 40-yard line. It's there, though. It's there for, I believe that was Chris Rowland. Second and 10. In shotgun, back to his left. 2 receivers to each side. Ball on their own 30. Plummer, handoff up the middle. That's going to be a gain of only about 3. All right. So 3rd and 7. Plummer in shotgun. Back to his left. 3 receivers to the left as well. Only 22 rushing yards on the night for the Storm. That's not great. Plummer stepping up, pass left side to a wide open Chris Rowland. He stumbles his way past midfield and tagged down at the 49. You cannot be leaving Chris Rowland that wide open. You're lucky that was an off-target throw. If that ball was on target, he has plenty of green. He's probably gone if that ball is on target. All right. The win shotgun back to his right, gonna hand this off up the middle, and gonna be stuffed at the line for no gain. Maybe gonna end up losing a yard or so here. They do pass midfield though, so punting is no longer allowed on this drive. And so 2nd and 12. In shotgun, back to his left. Going to look to throw. Plummer with some time. Pass over the middle is caught for the first. And going to be brought down at roughly the 35-yard line is Elijah Badger on the reception. Not bad. And now there's a penalty down. It's a roughing the passer call against DC, so tack on 15. And Orlando is looking to extend this lead. All right. Oh, yeah, he gets hit well late. That is clear. That is a clear penalty. Tomorrow's game's on 8. So they're going UFL straight into NBA playoff coverage tomorrow. Okay. I'm cool with it. In shotgun, back to his right. Going to hand this off up the middle, and that's going to be a gain of about 3 or 4. Get down to about the 16, maybe the 15-yard line. It'll be a 2nd and 7 coming up. Yeah, I'm excited to see how tomorrow's game goes between New York and Cleveland. Plummer in shotgun, back to his left. 2 receiving options to each side. Man in motion left to right. Plummer going to hand this off going left, and that's going to get inside the 15 and brought down right around the 12. So a 3rd and relatively short coming up. So a 3rd and 3. In shotgun, back to his left. 2 receiving options to each side. Man in motion left to right. Going to shovel past this one left side, and that's blown up behind the line for a loss of roughly 6. So there's no chance with Brandon Smith screaming into the backfield. So it's a 4th and decently long coming up. I imagine out comes Michael Lance and his field goal unit to try and make it back to an 11-point lead. So the field goal try, 35 yards out, and the left hash. To put Orlando back up by 11. Kick is up, and it's right down the middle. All right. And now there's a penalty. What is the penalty? It's offside against DC. That will be declined. Try is still good. And we head to a commercial break with 3:24 to play in the 3rd quarter. All right. All right, so at commercial break. So at commercial break. They added a flagrant penalty against for the Spurs. Okay. But yep, add commercial break. All right. Should be coming out of commercial break here soon. We'll see what DC can do with only one timeout and down by 11. They're going to need to score here pretty quick, and you're just going to need to do something in general here. It's an offense that has not found much of a groove in this game, even when they have scored. And there's the official announcement on the broadcast. They're covering it. 50 cent, the halftime show for the United Bowl. Should be interesting. Also, that deal that goes alongside it, buy 2 tickets, you get 2 for 50 cents each. That's funny and fantastic. I don't see it working a ton because, like, I mean, yeah, I guess you should bring the family out too. Mike Rapoli is talking right now. They're interviewing him on the sideline. Kickoff can be returned beginning from the 10. Base out past the 30, 35, past the 40, and down to about the 42 or so. The ball comes loose towards the end there. And probably going to be ruled down by contact. It's also a penalty down. So Rapoli was asked about how he's feeling about the league right now. And he said that he's viewing this season as a preseason for himself. Which gives me a little bit of hope that there's not going to be a ton of changes in the off season, but at the same time, I think that also is leaning towards, we're probably going to see at least one team move, maybe. Again, I still think that the better plan of action is to just keep things consistent and not have constantly moving parts, but we'll see. All right, penalty on the kickoff was against DC, so they're moving back some. So 1st and 10 coming up. Sanders in shotgun, 3 receivers to the right, 2 to the left. Going to look to throw, pass right side, going to be caught. It's past the 30 and down to about the 33. So a 2nd and 2 coming up. In shotgun, back to his right, 3 receiving options to the left. Going to keeping himself right side, and there's some space past the 40, past the 45, and out of bounds right around the 47. Spencer Sanders using his legs a lot more in this half compared to the first half. And that was the thing that really helped him out a lot in last week against Louisville. Was just tucking it and taking it himself at times. So yeah, allow the legs to be used. In shotgun, back to his right, gonna hand this off up the middle, and that's gonna be a gain of about 2, maybe 2.5. So a 2nd and roughly 8. In shotgun, back to his right, 2 receivers to each side. Ball on roughly the 49.5 yard line, so it's more so a 2nd and 7. Sanders looking to throw. Pass deep left side. Gonna be overthrown and incomplete. Slightly overthrown. Looking for Ty Scott. 3rd and 8 coming up. They could still punt. They have not passed midfield yet. But with how this game is going, I think no matter what, going forward is probably the best plan of action. Twin shotgun back to his right. 2 receiving options to each side. 3rd and roughly 9. 3rd and roughly 8. Looking to throw. Pass left side. Just off the mark and incomplete. It's a 4th and 9 coming up. Was looking for Ben Bresnahan. It's a 4th and 9. And they're going to punt this one away. I get it, but at the same time, it's just, man. Because if it was a 4th and shorter, you probably do just... Oh, there's a fake! Looking to throw is Paxton Brooks, not going to take it himself, and only just barely gets past midfield. If you're going to go for it, why the hell are you running a fake punt? There's now a penalty marker down as well. Well, why are you running a fake punt? If you're going to go for it, just go for it in this game. Refs are discussing. After the play, a personal foul against Orlando. Still going to be a storm ball with 18 seconds to play in the 3rd. But they're going to be backed up a bit. Yeah, there's some. Yeah, there's some grabbing. I get it. All right, so in shotgun, back to his left. Looking to throw in 1st and 10. Pass left side, going to be caught to about the 40. Is Elijah Badger on the reception. And that should get us to the end of the 3rd quarter. Been a solid game for the Storm offense. Garyon Conley was the defender in coverage, and that'll be the end of the 3rd. 15 minutes remain. Orlando leads by 11. Looking to put a bigger stake in that 1 seed cake. 15 minutes from Orlando remains. We'll head to a commercial break. See it before we see how this one ends. So at commercial break. Yep, at commercial break. We await the start of the fourth quarter. Good play by the Aaron Fox there. San Antonio is still down by 10. Okay, that's... Alright, I see you. That's an insane layup. We have still at commercial break. Alright, at commercial break. Should be coming back from commercial break here soon to start the fourth quarter. There we go. It's second down for Orlando, as they look to slowly put this game on ice. All right. So in shotgun on 2nd and 5, gonna hand this off going right, and that'll be a gain of only about a yard. So 3rd and about 4 coming up. The ground game has not been going good for Orlando tonight. They've been struggling on that end. So 3rd and 4. They're gonna let the clock run a bit here as well, which I don't hate the idea of. Plummer in shotgun, back to his left. 2 receivers to each side, going to look to throw. Pressure coming, Plummer escapes, trying to take it himself. Gonna be tripped up and only pick up about 2. So it's a 3 and out for Orlando. And they're gonna punt this one away. Plummer kind of gingerly heading off the field after that. Seems fine. Nothing looks out of the ordinary on that tackle. So 4th and 2. Punt comes off clean. Going to be returned beginning from the 16 and gets up to about the 18. 13:28 to play in this one. So at commercial break, Spurs once had this game at a 5-point difference. I was back to 10. I wouldn't be. I mean, it seems like anytime Wemby's off the court, they just can't get the same type of momentum going. Yep, add commercial break. I should be coming out of commercial break here soon. Alright. DC has some life in them, but will it be enough? We're just coming back from commercial break. See what DC can do. Alright, so Sanders in shotgun back to his left. Pass over the middle is caught with space for the first and more. Pass at 35 and finally brought down near the 38. It's Cornell Powell on the grab. And they're going up tempo with only one timeout remaining. They need to act quick. In shotgun, back behind him, 3 receiving options to the right. Going to play action, look to throw. Pass over the middle is caught and brought down at right about midfield. All right, Javon Antonio on the grab. And DC's moving a bit here. They're still going up tempo. In shotgun, back to his right. 2 receiving options to each side. Ball just past the 50 at the 49.5. Man in motion right to left. Gonna keep it himself left side. And there's space for Sanders. Another first down pickup. Past the 40 to the 38. 3 plays, 3 first downs for DC. There's some momentum building here. So 1st and 10. Gonna hand this off up the middle, and that's gonna be stuffed at the line for no gain. So 2nd and 10. So in shotgun, back to his right, 2 receivers to each side, going to look to throw. Sanders with some time, trying to step up, rolling left. Gonna take it himself and going to get about 2, maybe 3. Gonna make it a 3rd and medium coming up. And there's an Orlando player slow to get up, so we're gonna take a brief stoppage here with 11:34 to play in the game. A 3rd and 6. Oh, is Darian Butler slow to get up? Okay. Yeah, the 4 main teams fighting for those fighting for those 3 remaining playoff spots. Louisville needs the most help to get in of all of them, but they could definitely get in with pretty much ease. All right, so Sanders in shotgun for 3rd and 6. $11:24 to play in the game, actually. Sanders in shotgun, back to his left. Play action looking to throw. With some time, rolling right, takes it himself with his room. Pass to 25 to 20 to 15 to 10, and tripped up down to the 9-yard line, but there's a penalty. It's in the secondary, so I would imagine this is against Orlando. It is defensive holding. Going to be half the distance to the goal. So 1st and goal coming up from inside the 5. Yeah, if DC loses, it would be 3 straight. Which is tough, considering who they've played. Like, losing back-to-back to Louisville was tough, especially the way they lost those 2 games. And losing Jordan Ta'amu in the second one. This one, I mean, the offense just can't get a solid rhythm built in, especially in the passing game. Spencer Sanders is 6 for 16 tonight. It has not been the cleanest. In shotgun, back to his left, going to hand this off of the middle for Xavier Valade, and he's going to be stood up at the 1. The second effort push is not going to be enough. He's ruled short. So 2nd and goal coming up. Yeah. Handoff up the middle, going to be blown up behind the line for loss of Philadelphia 3. Yeah, it's been a tough past few weeks for DC. And it is not making any better the fact that they have to play Orlando in back-to-back weeks. But it is seemingly the case where it's a win and in for them. They win one more game and they're seemingly in the playoffs. But it's also been that way the past 2 weeks. So so there's a real chance to go a full month of winning in play and they just can't get it done, which is unfortunate for the defending champs. 3rd and goal, in shotgun, back to his left, 3 receivers to the right, looking to throw. Pressure coming, trying to escape, and gonna be sacked. Back at the 10. It's Isaiah Buggs, who has been absolutely everywhere in the backfield tonight. Gonna make it a 4th and goal. And seemingly they're gonna send out Matt McCrane. Yeah. I mean, the tough part is not having Jordan Ta'amu. And yeah, they play in DC next week, which should give them an edge. And most likely by that point, seemingly Orlando will not need to win for the 1 seed. A lot's going to come down to St. Louis, Houston. If St. Louis wins on Sunday, that's going to force Orlando to play properly next week. Kick is up, and it is good for Matt McCrane from 25 yards out. Goes back to an 8-point game. Because if Orlando wins and St. Louis loses, that would clinch the 1 seed, basically. Yeah, it would clinch the 1 seed, so they could rest their starters next week. But if St. Louis gets revenge against Houston, then that's going to force Orlando to play because of tiebreakers. But we'll see. We're at commercial break. Yeah. So we'll see. A lot of how week 10 is going to shape up is going to depend on the next 3 games. Because like if we see Birmingham fall to Columbus and Louisville beat Dallas, I mean that would put Louisville seemingly at the 3 seed. Yeah. A lot of the stand-ins and a lot of the playoff picture could be shaken up after this week. We've seen chaos unfold aplenty this year. So what's one more week? I see it. I mean, I did pick Columbus to win, but I could also see Birmingham winning that one just fine. Because again, I do expect Birmingham to play better against Columbus this week than they did last week. And then they end the season against Dallas, right? That's what it was? No. They end the season against Louisville, I think. Who did they end the season against? Yeah, I mean that's part of the reason I picked Columbus. Because of how tight that game was last week and this game being in Columbus, I would not be surprised if Columbus wins it. Birmingham plays Houston to end the season, that's what it is. Yeah. We'll see. That game is tomorrow? Yeah. The game's tomorrow at 3. Kickoff underway with 8:39 to play in this one. 8:28 to play. Going to be returned up past the 25 and brought down right around the 29. I've been having this game on a dual box with Spurs Thunder, so the time remaining is a bit small there, but I gotta get it more often than not with this. Yeah. Yeah, tomorrow should be good. Yeah. The Spurs have just been so impressive to watch. Quick pass left side for Plummer, gonna have some space to about the 33 before being brought down. It's Chris Rowland on the grab. Though, for how hot the Spurs started this game, they've let it get away from them. Down by 13 now as the third quarter's wrapping up. Yeah. Hey, but it was a hell of a fight from the Timberwolves. It was an entertaining series at the very least. But there's only so much you can do when Wemby just goes off like he does some games. Game 3 is going on right now. And the Thunder up by 11 as the third quarter just wrapped up for that. Yeah. All right, 2nd and 4 coming up for Orlando. There was an injured player down there. Yeah, me and some friends have been watching all these conference finals together the past few days. And it's been some entertaining basketball. Even last night's blowout win for the Knicks, like that was still impressive and fun to watch. It helps that like most of us are rooting for the Knicks because one of our friends is a Knicks fan. Handoff up the middle on 2nd and 4, going to be a gain of roughly 5. Enough for the first. It is Jayshawn Corbin on the carry as the clock will continue to run. DC with only one timeout is in a rough spot here, down by 8. And the fact that I haven't found the end zone since the first quarter. So 1st and 10. Yeah. Plummer going to hand this off up the middle, a penalty marker down at the line as there's a breakaway room there past midfield. Past the 45 and down to about the 43 for Jayshawn Corbin. Yeah. Yeah, we're all like pulling for them. Offside against DC is the call. It'll be declined. But it's like we're pulling for the Knicks, but at the same time, it's like, man, seeing Wemby go off in the finals would be really fun. It's more so like it's like Knicks, Spurs, Cavs, and Thunder is the order most of us are rooting for in these playoffs now. So I wouldn't be surprised if there's a few that are hiding amongst that do have the Spurs ahead. Plummer in shotgun, going to hand this off up the middle, and there's some space past the 40, 35, and brought down right around the 33. Should be enough for another first. It's like, the Thunder style is just not entertaining sometimes. Like, it's efficient, and I respect it. It's just, it doesn't make for a fun experience. It does, but I mean, again, they're down right now. Of course, we've seen insane comebacks already these playoffs. Look at game 1 for the Knicks. So we'll see. 6 minutes remain in this one. Plummer in shotgun, back to his right. 3 receiving options to the left. Get the snap off in time as Plummer hands this off left side, and that'll be a loss of roughly 3. Joe Wallace into the backfield. And a 2nd and 13 coming up. Part of me has been tempted to go live with the NBA playoff games, but I don't know. I just think this isn't a great year to do it because, like, I haven't been fully paying attention as I normally do for the NBA this year. In shotgun, back to his left, gonna hand this off up the middle on 2nd and 13, and they'll get about 2. So 3rd and 11 coming up. But clock's rolling. 5 minutes to play in this one and counting. They call that a travel? Damn. So 3rd and 11. Yeah, but so I still keep up with it, but part of it is more so during a regular season. The NHL is more of my attention now. I've started to really properly fall in love with the NHL more. Plummer gonna dump this off right side, will be brought down quickly thereafter up to the 29-yard line for Chris Rowland. DeAndre Baker in coverage, gonna be a 4th and about 8 or so. 4th and 7. So I still keep up with the NBA. It's still like I'm aware of what's happening, but if it's like the Heat and the Panthers are playing at the same time one night, I'm gonna lean in favor of the Panthers. It's entertaining. It is fun. Though I have kind of been bad these playoffs with the NHL. I've not been fully keeping up with the NHL playoffs as I normally do. It's just been a weird year all around. But yeah, because it's the fast-paced action of like of the NBA in terms of like going back and forth, up and down quickly, mixed with the physicality of football and the NFL, and I love it. It's like a perfect blend of those two for me. All right, Michael Lance on for the 47-yard kick from the right hash to make it back to an 11-point Orlando lead. Kick is up, and he misses it wide left. The defenders have life. With 4 minutes to play, they're down by 8 with a chance to tie or take the lead. Yeah. They're kind of off to the screen, but I got the replica Stanley Cups off to the side here because of the Panthers. Yeah, they got time, they got life, even with only one timeout. We had to do a commercial break. Because like there was a period before COVID basically, where essentially like my mindsets for NHL and NBA were flipped. Well, like, yeah, I'll still keep up with the NHL, I'll still follow it and make sure I'm aware of what's happening, but I would more so lean in favor of the NBA. And then I like properly watched playoff hockey for the first time, and I was hooked instantly. And still to this day, I think the best ever sporting event I've been to, atmosphere wise, was a playoff game for the Florida Panthers. That was like that is a it was a beautiful experience. Yep, at commercial break. Yep. The Montreal and Carolina series right now, it has been. I mean, only one game has happened, but it was interesting. I mean, Montreal got a nice win in that one. Ups. It was the Carolina's first loss of the playoffs, so that should be an interesting game too. I'll probably have that on in the background while watching the Knicks play tomorrow. I haven't been keeping up with the Western Conference too much, mainly because I pretty much I'm confident in what the outcome's going to be for that series, so I'm like, okay, whatever. And yeah, Vegas just took a 2-0 series lead tonight, so I'm not surprised. All right, just coming back from commercial break. So DC down by 8, trying to take advantage of the missed field goal. Ball on their own 37. And out comes Spencer Sanders, what very well might be their last chance in this. Down by 8 with 4 minutes and only one timeout. They would be unlikely to get the ball back. Sanders in shotgun, back to his left. 2 receiving options to each side. Man in motion, right to left. Hands this off up the middle. It's a gain of about 4. All right. Orlando only has 58 rushing yards in this game. DC has 191, and it's not mattered. Sanders in shotgun, back to his left. 2 receiving options to each side. Play action, dump off left side for the tight end screen. Has some blockers. Gonna trip up and be just saying he's still on his feet. Eventually, finally, officially brought down near the 46 of Orlando. Yeah, I do play the NHL games occasionally. I don't buy them on a year-to-year basis. So like I still play NHL 24 from time to time. I have a few franchise saves in that I keep up with. Handoff up the middle on 1st and 10, going to be inside the 40 and down to about the 39. One more play on minimum needed before the 2-minute warning. Yeah, DC's running game has been their MO pretty much the entire season. It has worked more often than not. It's working in this game, but again, it's been when they've been in. It's been when they're forced into passing situations. Things have been rough for them. Sanders in shotgun, back behind him. Gonna hand this off up the middle, and that's enough for the first. Down to about the 35 for Abram Smith. And that should get us to the 2-minute warning unless they go quick. Yeah, it's a 1st and 10. 2:10 to play in this one. Clock winding down. Sanders in shotgun, back to his left. 2 receiving options to each side. Man in motion, right to left. They're going to hand this off, going right for Abram Smith in their space inside the 30 and fighting his way to about the 26. The gain of 9 gets us to the 2-minute warning. 1:56 to play in this one. DC been moving well on this drive. They're going to need to find the end zone. It's going to come down to this. But first, a commercial break. All right. So at commercial break. Spurs down by 12 as you're looking to mount a comeback here. Good defense. They were cooking, yeah. They were fully cooking. Just can they finish it? Orlando's defense, we need to bend but not break. So at commercial break. Are they getting San Antonio on a loose ball foul there? No, it was against Hartenstein. Okay. A loose ball. Essentially, when no one has full proper possession of the ball in basketball, and a foul happens, it's a loose ball foul. So like a rebound attempts, more so rebound attempts, steal attempts. As we're just coming back from commercial break. Spencer Sanders and shotgun. No, I'll say the NBA could use some more funny foul names. Sanders and shotgun back to his left. Gonna play action and pass this over the middle, a little bit behind and incomplete, looking for Ben Bresnahan. Nate Metters on the pass breakup, 2nd and 10 coming up. Yeah, if they hand that ball off for Abram Smith, he has space. Misread on the RPO. So 2nd and 10. Sanders and shotgun. Back to his right. 2 receiving options to each side. Man in motion left to right. And there's a stoppage before the snap. Going to be a delay of game against DC. So push him back 5. Yeah. It's a missed opportunity and one that's missed because of the Tiamu injury. Hell, even if that was an on-target throw, I think you might be able to have 6 there. Because the fact that it was a bit behind makes it a bit weird. So a 2nd and 15 coming up. Yeah. And it is those very simple mistakes that add up and cost teams games. DC has had a few of them so far tonight. Sanders and shotgun looking to throw. Pass right side, going to be caught, and that's a gain of about 6 for Cornell Powell. So a 3rd and 9 coming up. They got 2 chances. Yeah, delay of game 2. So a 3rd and 9. A minute 50 to play. The time doesn't fully matter at this point. Sanders and shotgun. Back to his right. 3 receivers to the left. Going to look to throw. Has some time. Rolling to his left to buy more. Still looking down the field. Passing this left side is going to be a throwaway, basically. Incomplete. 4th and 9. Game basically comes down to this. Oh, they're sending out the field goal unit. Okay. Oh, he missed a wide open validate out the backfield. That's a tough miss. Part of that is he felt the pocket collapsing and wanted to just get out of there. But man, if you stay in the pocket another half second and look right. So out comes Matt McCrane for the 42-yard kick. This means that if they do convert on the onside kick attempt, they have a chance to win with a touchdown. From the right hash, kick is up, and it is good. Mad McCrane is reliable. Now a 5-point game, so a touchdown will win it for DC. But first, they need to convert. It's a 4th and 12 coming up. As the onside kick in the UFL is not a traditional onside kick, it is a 4th and 12 attempt from your own 28-yard line. So the game's gonna pretty much gonna come down to the same 4th and long situation. But if they don't get it, Orlando's in field goal range, up by 5 with only 1:36 to play. It would pretty much be the game. Yeah. It was made that way specifically for moments like this. Because, I mean, it's far more likely to convert a 4th and 12, not far more. It's slightly more likely to convert a 4th and 12 than is a standard onside kick. Yeah, I mean, for most of that drive, they were moving pretty well. It just eventually stalled out. So 4th and 12. Yeah. This is part of that process of now finishing the job. Ball on their own 28. Sanders in shotgun back to his left. 2 receivers to each side. They need the 40-yard line. Sanders, play action, pressure comes quick. Escapes to his right. Breaks off 2 would-be sacks. Passing right side's wide open, but overthrown and incomplete. Looking for Cornell Powell. That is very similar to the overthrow last week against Louisville on the 3rd-point conversion attempt. Wide open receiver, a few yards, 10 plus yards down the field. Rolling right and just barely puts too much into it. It's not the exact same play or the exact same play call, but man, is that a similar circumstance to their failed 3-point conversion attempt last week. Like, it's there. It's like, if that's slightly lower, it's on target and you have the 1st and more. Like, it's him having this was Spencer Sanders having a chance to redeem himself from last week's overthrow. And he did the exact same thing. Alright, the 1st down will end it. Plummer under center, back behind him. 3 receiving options to the left. Ball on the DC 28. Plummer gonna hand this off going left, and that's gonna be stood up at the line for no gain. Yeah. That's a tough miss. So, here's the final timeout from DC. And man, DC now going to be in a very tough spot for next week's final home game. So 2nd and 10. A minute 23 to play, and they're going to kneel this one out. Yeah, they're in field goal range. Oh, there's a delayed kneel down, and there it is finally. He gets hit well late after that, and there's some pushing and shoving going on here. Yeah, penalty flags are down now. Plummer gets hit well late after he kneels it, and then there's a ton of pushing and shoving going on as the offensive line are protecting his guy, or their guy. There's gonna be penalties against both. Personal fouls against both, so it'll be offset and penalties. All right, so a third down coming up. So I think with those, especially the penalty against Orlando, I think that the clock will stop here. So they're not gonna, because like if I love that the offensive line rallied like that to help their guy. I love it. But if they do nothing, maybe it's just like some slight pushing, the game's over with a penalty against DC. Like you knew that was gonna be a penalty against DC. If you just held your cool, the game would be guaranteed. It's pretty much over anyway, but it would be guaranteed over. Because yeah, now the clock stops at 109. DC is gonna probably get the ball back with very little time, but still some time. As there's the next kneel down. So the clock will run. They can get this down to about 30 seconds remaining before having to call a timeout and kick the field goal. So DC is going to have some time. Not a lot, but some. So kind of a bad mistake from Orlando there. Again, I love having your guys back like that. But again, it keeps DC alive, barely. And there's the first timeout for Orlando with 29 seconds. And Michael Lance, he missed earlier in this one. He missed from 47 earlier. This would be another long kick. This could get real interesting. They add another second back into the clock, so it is 30 seconds. Yeah. This is a 51-yard kick from the right hash. Again, Lance missed earlier in this one. If he misses here, I'm going to give DC excellent starting field position. He missed from 47 earlier. This from 51. Kick is up. It's online, and it is good. So they lead by 8. 25 seconds remain. If DC can get a great return. If they can get a great return, they're in this, but we'll see. The key thing if you're Orlando now is you can't kick short on the kickoff, and you can't kick too long. You need them to return the kick. Because that will kill some time. All right. $25 seconds remain. Yeah. If they get a good return. If they get a good return. Lance on to send this one down. And the wind knocked the ball off the tee. Okay. So 25 seconds. Lance on to send this one down. Kickoff underway. Going to be returned beginning from the 10. Base past the 25, out past the 30, past the 35. Spinning his way past the 40, past the 45, and finally brought down near the 47. Eric Ezukanma on the return. There's 16 seconds, so that's exactly the return you need. 16 seconds to get 53 yards. You're going to need to push the ball down the field quite a bit here. But you definitely have a good chance. You definitely have some life. You need the touchdown. You need at least a 2-point conversion attempt. Yeah, special teams did their job. Now it's time for the offense once again. Sanders in shotgun, back to his left. 2 receivers to each side. Going to look to throw. Pressure coming. Passes. They're saying that's a fumble and is picked up by Orlando. Return back to about the 30. That's the game. Their Orlando defense, one play into the drive, is Keyshawn Banks into the backfield, forcing the ball loose. And the Orlando Storm, with a loss on Sunday for the St. Louis Battlehawks, will clinch the 1 seed. Keyshawn Banks. Beautiful rush off that right side. Like, even if that was a proper throw, it's behind. Yeah, no, that's a fumble. Keyshawn Banks with ease. He had a wide open receiver on that right side as well. Would have been enough for the, maybe would have been enough for the first. Was looking, Cornell Powell was the open guy. That's a tough one. And there's the kneel down. The Orlando Storm, winners of 3 straight and comfortably in the 1 seed. An 8-point win in their final home game of the season. What a game for Orlando. Not the cleanest. It's just been a consistent year for the Storm. They're not playing the cleanest of games, not the greatest of games, but they're playing in a style that has been successful up to this point. Obviously, when the playoffs roll around, we'll see if they can continue it. But for now, they're in a pretty good spot. All right, I'm going to call it now. First Thunder about to wrap up here. I want to put more attention onto that. So appreciate everyone tuning in. I'll be live tomorrow for Birmingham and Columbus. I'll see you all then. Have yourselves a damn good one. Peace.